So I did a stream this morning, trying to trying to be smart and create a MapRoulette challenge for some mapping that I did related to crosswalks and sidewalks, and I failed. But I did get a lot of help from the community, specifically BJazz and Binet, on Slack and on the chat here on Twitch, and I think I got it down now. So I'm hoping to do maybe a little bit more efficient of a stream, where I actually go from A to Z with the entire thing that I wanted to do. So let me. JOSM is sometimes a little weird when it comes to the aerial imagery, flickering and such. I'm gonna download the data in the area where I was mapping. Okay, bit by bit. Can't make them too big. So this is basically northwest of downtown Green Bay, Wisconsin. And what I did is basically just some sidewalk mapping. You know, I identified this area. There was just not a lot of sidewalks in this residential area. And I love mapping sidewalks, so I decided to do some. I usually do this in Rapid or ID because it's just, I find it a little quicker. But I found myself here in JOSM. I was like, okay, I can do this in JOSM. Thing is, it doesn't quite have the same convenience when it comes to sort of doing crossings and curbs. So I thought I'd be smart about it and do a little bit of MapRoulette follow-up. So what I did first is basically map everything, but just pay attention to the sidewalks. So what I did, for example, let's see, I'll do a little bit so we can kind of see what I did. Here I start at this north end. Here's a sidewalk. So I just started mapping and just kind of going straight across the residential streets like this. Not making any splits in the pedestrian, in the footpath. Just doing everything real quick. On these straight blocks, it's pretty efficient. I do. So kind of like that, you know, you get my drift. Make this into a sidewalk. And then I thought, well, so now I have all these crossings here, for example, this one, that is not marked as such. The node has no tags whatsoever. So I'd like to fix that. I can go through all these one by one and go back and look at all of them and see, okay, well, mark this as a crossing, split the way here and mark the crossing way as a crossing, do some curbs maybe. But I did so many that I didn't quite know. It was a little bit overwhelming, so I thought, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to find a way to select all these and then make a MapRoulette challenge for myself or for others to help me complete this little project. So the first interesting part is coming up with a JOSM search query that would have me select all the nodes that satisfy these criteria, right? So there's a node that has no tags of its own, does have a residential street and a highway equals footway as parents or children, I forget. So I came up with this search term. It's actually here. So I'm going to paste this into my text editor so it's a little easier to see. Actually, I already did some preparation for this. So search basically breaks down like this. It's type colon node to select all the nodes, 0 number of tags, and has a child highway equals footway and has a child highway equals residential. So I would call these parents, I guess, in the sort of hierarchical thinking that I do, but they call it children. So that's what we that's what we do. So we execute this search term, and you can see in the red dots here, I'll blend out that imagery, so you can see that there's a whole bunch, 192 in fact, of these nodes that are crossings but not tagged as such. So what I thought I'd do is, the first initial thought was to just make a naive MapRoulette challenge, just export these points as GeoJSON, make them into tasks, and just have people solve them. So that's what I'll do first. So what I tried this morning is just to do, create a new layer, and then go back to the existing data layer and say edit merge selection, and then select the new layer, and then the new layer will have only those items that I selected. So you can see here all these untagged nodes will be in that layer. But if I then do save as GeoJSON, I got an empty file with no features. So what I found out in the meantime is that you have to go into preferences, and you have to go into advanced preferences. So you have to have expert mode switched on here to even get there. And then you have to go all the way down to the advanced preferences. Where are they located? There they are. And then I search for GeoJSON here, and then you have to set GeoJSON.export.skip empty nodes to false. By default, this is true. So when you have an empty node like this, which is just basically a point geometry with no tags attached to it, it will not export this. So I had set this to false. This was a little bit of trial and error. And then you can do save as crossing nodes.geojson. I already had this saved, so I'm going to overwrite it. When I look in my text editor, I see all these points with geometries. No other features. Unfortunately, this doesn't have any OSM IDs, even though these are uploaded features, so they could have included the OSM feature IDs here, point IDs, but they didn't, which is a shame. But if we now go to MapRoulette, actually I'm going to go to staging.maproulette.org. This is a staging website that everyone can use to try out challenge ideas. That is, if it works. Maybe they were working on it on a new next level staging site that is fully up to date with the live site. So I'm just going to go to the live website in this case, but I'm going to delete the challenge if it doesn't work out, I promise. So I'm going to go create and manage, and go to my project, and then I'm going to add a new challenge to my project. We're going to call it add crossing detail in Green Bay. I'm going to supply this GeoJSON file, this one right here, and then I'm going to description help Green Bay mappers add cross pedestrian crossings. So this is the short description. This will show up in the when people search for challenges as a to whet their appetite. I'm going to categorize these roads, pedestrian, cycleways, instructions. Here is a crossing that has no tags yet. Can you help us complete this crossing in JOSM? Please add highway equals crossing to mark the node as a crossing. Add what is it? Crossing.markings. Crossing markings. Should look it up. Yes, crossing markings. to specify the type of crossing, to split the way the sidewalk, where to isolate the part that intersects with the pedestrian roadway. Mark split, yeah, mark the way as a crossing as well. 3. Optionally, but highly recommended. Add detail about curbs. I highly recommend Rapid as an editor for this task, since it has some cool features to make this kind of mapping easier. Good luck and thanks. Okay, this is good. Normal. Gonna leave the difficult as normal. Change the description. Added crossing detail. Change that source discoverable. Yes. I'm going to leave the rest of this to default, and then I need to go scroll all the way back down and acknowledge that I've read the automated edits code of conduct. Please read this if you haven't before and you're creating MapRoulette challenges. And I'm going to finish this, and we should have tasks being created, which is bronze medal for me. There we go. We have how many tasks here? We have 192 tasks. Does that correspond with what we had in JOSM? 192 nodes. Yes, we do. So we can just start this. And there we are. We have our first task to solve. If we go to the edit mode, which will fire up the built-in Rapid editor, and reselect the task, we can then, I'm just going to skip and go to the next one so it's easier to see. So here you can see that we have all these crossings that still need markings. Marked. I'm not going to solve a bunch of these now, but this is split here, split here. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Rapid doesn't offer me the pedestrian crossing convenience things that I'm used to. Not sure. Are we behind a version? I don't think so. Anyway, you get the idea. There's this challenge that I created based off of my own editing in the JOSM search. But we can take it one step further. I'm going to make a cooperative challenge as well. Binet helped me with this morning, and I wanted to demonstrate that as well. So we're going back to JOSM. We're going to go back to the layer, the edit layer. We're going to discard this temporary layer. It's going to be in the way. Oh, I discarded the wrong one, didn't I? No matter. I'm going to download this area again. Do it in a few parts because the JOSM doesn't like me downloading big areas very much. Do it in 4 bits. If there's a better way to do this, let me know. Honestly, I haven't thought about that very much. I just download small areas usually. I'm going to do the same search function. I get the same, well, fewer nodes, probably because I didn't download the exact same area. What I'm going to do now, though, is I'm going to, now that these nodes are selected, I'm going to all mark them as pedestrian crossing. I'm not going to mark them as any specific type of pedestrian crossing, but I am going to mark them all as pedestrian crossing. I'm going to apply that preset, and now we just have 185 changed nodes. Of course, we wouldn't want to upload this directly because I wouldn't want to upload anything that I hadn't verified piece by piece, but that's what we have MapRoulette for, isn't it? So I'm going to now save this as an OSM file. Crossing changes.osm. Cool. So now we have this file. I'm going to go to my terminal. Make that a little bit bigger. So we're using the MapRoulette CLI tool, which is, you can find it in the npm registry as well as the MapRoulette GitHub. Command is simply nr. And the command that we'll use, we can first go to my data directory. And you have that file there, crossingchanges.osm, which is actually very large. Let's see, is this what I meant to do? 21 megabytes. I expected that to be small. Well, I saved the entire file, didn't I? It should be able to parse through the changes. Well, let's try. So what we're going to do is we're going to make use the MapRoulette CLI tool to make a cooperative challenge, which is basically a challenge that already has changes proposed, baked in, basically. So it will already propose, okay, this is the change that we think is the right one. Please verify, edit more if you want, and then commit it. So there's two types of cooperative challenges. One is tag fix, and one is the sort of change file type. I'm not going too deep into the differences right now, but there's this is a tool to create the JSON that defines those types of challenges. I did a talk on that. You can find it on learn.maproulette.org. So if you want to know more background about this tool and cooperative challenges in general, you can head to the documentation website. So let's feed it this crossing changes.osm file, and it will output challenge.json. There it is. So that's very quick. It just looked at the elements that were changed and made tasks out of those, basically, and the task file is this challenge.json. We can open that and have a quick look. So basically, it's just a line-by-line GeoJSON with some special features. So there's a special tag cooperative work that has a special JSON object that has encoded changes inside it. So again, I won't go too deep into the technical details, but basically this task incorporates the changes that MapRoulette wants you to make already, and I'll show you how that works once it's finished. So now that we have this challenge, I'm going to actually keep this challenge for now. I'm going to create the other one as well. See what I do. Maybe I can clone it. Green Bay. I don't know if I can clone a challenge and make it. No, I think I can. Add crossing detail Cooperative. I'm going to only keep one of these depending on which one I like best, but you see that if I clone it, all the rest of the information is retained, so I only have to put in the new JOSM file and add a new name, because we can't have duplicate names. So now I can just create this, and I haven't actually tested this, so I'm hoping it actually does go better than this morning. It does not. Maybe the cloning doesn't. Maybe this cloning doesn't work for this. Okay, I'm going to delete this and try again. I'm going to add one from scratch. I am going to use the information from the challenge that I just created, though, so I don't have to type everything again. This is it. I'm going to edit, so I'm going to use this tab to edit, to copy the stuff from my existing challenge to the new one. I need to upload the GeoJSON. Where is it? Home. Data. JOSM. There it is. Challenge.json. I'm going to copy over all these other things that I typed in the other one. So basically I am cloning. It's just I don't think that you can, I think MapRoulette gets confused if you clone a challenge and then make it a different type from a regular challenge into a cooperative one. Okay, I think this is all I put in. This is going to be added automatically. Change that source. Okay, all the rest I left at default. So now if I finish this, I should get about 190 tasks, but these should be cooperative tasks. And let me show you what that looks like. If I start this challenge, I'll be taken to a task, but you'll see that most of the editors are unsupported, because the way these cooperative challenges work is basically, in JOSM you get, I'll just do one and explain it. So I'm going to click edit, and then JOSM will load two layers. So one is, I'm going to delete this layer because it's, so one is, I'm going to pop this out, it's still going to be small, but there we go. So one is the changes. So this, you can see here, this is the change that's being proposed for this task, namely the node with the highway equals crossing tag. And then crossing markings no. So that's my first step. And then when I'm done, I can merge this into the other layer that MapRoulette loaded for me, which is the OSM data layer. So now I didn't have to actually click and edit this layer. I already had the edited node basically there for me. So it saves you a step of editing. This is a very simple example. We only added one tag to a node, so you can argue that it's almost as fast to just do it, to just have users edit it from scratch. But just to demonstrate the example, just to finish this task, I'll just let me remind myself the shortcut keys here. Oh, this is circular. Okay. I'm going to split this way in these two places. I'm going to mark this . Okay. So now I have done the minimum. I didn't do any of the curbs, but let's make it. So you see that this is all preloaded. And we can upload the changes. Go back to MapRoulette and mark it as fixed. very cool. So there's a bunch more of these. Of course, we created 190 of them. So those are just two ways. I think to recap, what I found interesting here is if you do a bunch of editing in JOSM and you just use the pretty powerful search function that's in JOSM, you can isolate features that need additional work, like these nodes that I kind of skipped over when I drew all these sidewalks. You can then export that data as GeoJSON and convert it into a MapRoulette challenge. Of course, the other way to do this, that's a little bit more straightforward, perhaps, if you just want to work on it by yourself, is just to select these and add them to a to-do list that you can skip through. This is something I love to do myself as well. But in case you want to share the workload, or just have this persist across sort of JOSM sessions, because the to-do list is not, I think it's ephemeral, so it just disappears when you quit JOSM. So this works perfectly fine for little projects that you're just doing yourself. But if you want to kind of keep tabs on how far you've progressed, and you want to share the task with others, then MapRoulette, of course, is an excellent option. So yeah, there's a few people watching. Thank you. Thanks for coming. I think I'm kind of done with this. I'm happy to do a follow-up if it was a little bit unclear. I feel like this morning I was in a better place to sort of explain it a little bit more clearly. But at least now, this time it works. And it's a shorter video, so yay for that. I hope this is useful. I'm going to do more streaming again. It's actually kind of fun to do, and there's actually people interested in it. So I enjoy that. So thanks for being with me here, and see you in the next one.